Cuando andábamos con los preparativos de este primera Tope, se presentó en Madrid un tal David Bowie, así que decidimos lanzar nuestras cámaras a la calle, le pedimos a Joaquin Luquí que fuera nuestro enviado especial y cobramos una buena pieza. Hola, Joaquín.
Hola, welcome to Spain, Mr. Bowie.
Thank you very much.
Bienvenido a España, David Bowie, o David, like su amigo Carlos Salomar, David, Carlos dice David. El caso es que David Bowie es la primera vez que viene a España y es un motivo de orgullo para todos nosotros. En concreto, para mí personalmente, que tuve la ocasión de verle cuando Space Oddity a finales de los 60, en el Elscar de Londres, cuando el Gay Power, cuando el Ziggy Stardust, que fue uno de los LPs clave de la década de los 70. Después David Bowie fue a Estados Unidos, volvió, hizo una gira por España en Macho Man, después estuvo en Alemania, fue un estilo muy germánico, después hizo rock, dance music, hizo una obra de arte como es Ashes to Ashes. Finalmente firmó con otra compañía de discos, hizo Let's Dance, que fue lo más suyo en el mundo y en España también fue más que disco de oro, y ahora tiene el nuevo LP, Never Let Me Down, que va a ser seguro platino, que va a ser lo más de David Bowie, pero es que además, nos sentimos felices de tener a David Bowie porque es sin duda un artista único. Nadie en el mundo puede hacer como él hace mimo, teatro, cine, música, como autor, como compositor, programas especiales de televisión. Nobody does it better than you do, Mr. Bowie. Congratulations. But de todos estos aspectos de Bowie, ¿cuál es el actual, el Bowie 87, the current face of David Bowie? ¿Cuál es?
The last time that I went on tour, I was singing for a new audience because the Let's Dance single and the album exploded on me. I never expected such incredible international success, and I knew that I was bringing in a new audience of people who had never seen me before, and I didn't want to confuse them, as they were new, with too much theatricality. I'd rather introduce them to the songs that they may have heard on radio over the last 18, 20 years, and be able to associate those songs with me and to make them aware that, in fact, primarily I'm a songwriter, and then I'm a singer, plus I'm a performer. So that's what I was doing on the 83 tour. But with this tour that I'm going to do, I'm embarking on something that is far more like what I was doing in the early 70s, in as much that it's a very theatrical presentation of my songs. And the songs are chosen to fit the show, not the show to present the songs. So it's coming from another place.
El último LP de David Bowie es tremendo, es básicamente rhythm and blues, tiene una enorme fuerza, pero ¿por qué rhythm and blues?
I think when I was doing the Let's Dance album, Nile Rodgers did an extraordinary job in making me and my music accessible to a lot of people. But in the process, it started to become, I was finding myself uncomfortable in an area which was becoming very glossy. And I wanted to return back to a tighter, small band sound for this album, and so I came back to hard rock and rhythm and blues, the kinds of music I was playing in the early 70s. So for me it's kind of a departure from Let's Dance, but a return to the early 70s.
El video del single de David Bowie es realmente tremendo, pero es curioso, en el video de Day In, Day Out aparecen minorías étnicas, en este caso hispanos, como aparecían minorías étnicas australianas en el vídeo de Let's Dance. ¿Por qué estas minorías étnicas?
Ever since I started doing videos, I felt that it was important not to waste the video and let it become just a fashion shoot or a glamour video or something like that. I think as it is film, the media is film, because these, although it's called video, very rarely are they shot on videotape. They're usually shot onto film and are transferred to video. So you're talking about film. So as it is a piece of film, I've always tried to make the weight of the video as the same weight as the song. And for Day In, Day Out, for example, the situation in the song describes the plight of the underprivileged and the homeless in the big cities of the world. And to match that, I had to work with those kinds of people and present that kind of story. Let's Dance also was a similar statement for me, that I wanted to focus in on the plight of the Australian Aborigines and what was happening to them in Australia at that particular time. But rock has always been able to do that. Since the early 60s, rhythm and blues and rock went hand in hand with the civil rights movement to focus in on the plight of the black people in America. It re-evaluated people's attention and their ideas on what was happening in the Vietnam War with people like Dylan and the MC5. And then in the 70s, when we came into punk era, the punk era highlighted the economic depression that was happening in Europe. And Live Aid changed people's focus back onto Africa and the African peoples. All the time, rock has contributed to focusing on what's happening in society. Sometimes it's a clown as well, yes, but it is also, sometimes it can be very serious and bring people's attention back into that which is important in society, and one tries to do that with the videos as well.
Decíamos antes que era un artista único, porque nadie como él, nadie ha podido hacer teatro, cine, canción, mimo, televisión. Realmente es único. Pero es que el cine además es especial, porque ha sido actor dramático en El hombre que cayó en la tierra, The Man Who Fell to Earth, o Feliz Navidad Mr. Lawrence, Merry Christmas Mr. Lawrence, y luego se puede reír de sí mismo haciendo de gángster, por ejemplo Cuando llega la noche, Into the Night, o haciendo de brujo en Laberinto, que además ha sido un gran éxito en todo el mundo y en España. ¿Por qué tanta variedad como actor?
I think when I've chosen a movie, it's because of the director involved. It's because I've liked that director's work very much, and that's the usual reason why I'll accept a part. And fortunately, because I've liked the directors and they've been interesting directors, they've generally offered me interesting roles because they're interesting people and they see me in an unusual way, and they give me that kind of variety. And that's how I'd like to continue to make films. I generally pick the director first, or rather the director picks me, which is flattering. But it's rarely that I pick the film first. It's because I heard Oshima was making a movie. I would have taken any Oshima movie. I mean, it just happened to be that one, and I was very happy to work with him like that. In the future, I would like to work with people like David Lynch, who I admire very much indeed. People like Alex Cox, I think, are tremendous. Also, I would like to work again with Nick Rogue. Nicholas Rogue is one of my favorite people to work with.
Yes, The Man Who Fell to Earth.
Yes, I enjoy working with him very much.
Bueno, ¿y es verdad que harás una película con Mick Jagger?
It's true that Mick and I are probably doing a movie next year. What it's about, though, is still a secret, but it's not the kind of thing that you would expect us to be doing. It's an unusual piece of work, and we've created the piece ourselves, and we're having one of our favorite writers working on it, and it should be finished by the time we both finish touring. If Mick is touring, then we should be able to start work on it next year sometime.
David, nos sentimos felices de estar aquí contigo y volvemos a decir una vez más, ahora es el más grande, nadie lo hace como él y ahora lo va a hacer en español. Él mismo va a presentar en nuestro idioma el vídeo de Day In, Day Out.
You mustn't be angry with me because my Spanish is very bad, but here goes. Amigo de Tope, aquí está mi video.